The Middle East, a region perpetually on edge, is once again grappling with the specter of a full-blown conflict. This time, the confrontation pits Iran against Israel, two regional powers with a long and bitter history of animosity. The latest escalation was triggered by a series of events that have pushed tensions to a boiling point. At the heart of the conflict lies the complex interplay of political, ideological, and security concerns. Iran views Israel as an existential threat, while Israel sees Iran's nuclear ambitions and regional influence as a grave danger. This fundamental clash of perspectives has fueled a cycle of proxy wars, covert operations, and military buildups that have plagued the region for decades. The current crisis is particularly alarming due to the unprecedented scale of Iran's missile attacks. The Islamic Republic launched a barrage of ballistic missiles targeting strategic locations inside Israel, marking a significant escalation in its confrontation with the Jewish state. The missile attacks have sent shockwaves through the region and beyond, raising fears of a wider conflagration that could engulf the entire Middle East. As the international community scrambles to contain the fallout, the question on everyone's mind is whether this is the beginning of another devastating war in the region. In a brazen display of military might, Iran unleashed a massive missile barrage targeting key Israeli military installations and infrastructure. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the elite branch of Iran's armed forces, claimed responsibility for the attacks, boasting of their precision and devastating impact. According to Iranian state media, the missiles successfully struck their intended targets, inflicting significant damage on Israeli military assets. The IRGC released footage purporting to show the missiles hitting their marks, accompanied by triumphant pronouncements of victory against the Zionist entity. The missile attacks were widely seen as a direct response to recent Israeli airstrikes on Iranian targets in Syria. Iran has been providing military support to the Syrian regime in its brutal civil war, and Israel has repeatedly warned against Tehran's growing entrenchment in its northern neighbor. Iran's decision to directly target Israeli territory represents a dangerous escalation in the long-running shadow war between the two adversaries. It remains to be seen how Israel will respond to this latest provocation. But one thing is certain, the stakes have just been raised dramatically in the Middle East. Facing an unprecedented barrage of Iranian missiles, Israel's renowned Iron Dome air defense system was put to the ultimate test. The system, designed to intercept and destroy short-range rockets and artillery shells, swung into action, attempting to neutralize the incoming threat. Israeli officials claimed a high success rate in intercepting the Iranian missiles, citing the Iron Dome's advanced radar and missile interception capabilities. They released footage of their own, showing plumes of smoke as Iron Dome interceptors streaked across the sky, attempting to take out the Iranian projectiles. Despite the Iron Dome's activation, some of the Iranian missiles managed to penetrate Israeli defenses, striking buildings and infrastructure. The extent of the damage and casualties remains unclear, with both sides engaging in a propaganda war to control the narrative. The effectiveness of Israel's Iron Dome system in this latest confrontation is a subject of intense debate. While Israeli officials maintain that the system performed admirably under challenging circumstances, critics argue that the fact that any missiles got through at all exposes vulnerabilities in Israel's defenses. The performance of the Iron Dome will undoubtedly be scrutinized closely in the aftermath of this latest exchange of fire. The reverberations of the Iran-Israel missile exchange were felt far beyond the borders of the two warring parties. Across the Middle East, the conflict sent shockwaves, raising fears of a wider regional conflagration that could draw in other actors. In Lebanon, home to the powerful Iranian-backed Hezbollah militia, the atmosphere was particularly tense. Hezbollah, which has fought numerous wars with Israel, expressed unwavering solidarity with its Iranian patrons and vowed to respond to any Israeli aggression against Lebanon. Meanwhile, in the Gaza Strip, the Palestinian militant group Hamas, which has also received support from Iran, praised the Iranian missile attacks as a legitimate act of resistance against Israel. The group, which has been locked in a protracted conflict with Israel for decades, seized on the opportunity to rally support for its cause. The escalating tensions between Iran and Israel have put the entire region on edge, threatening to ignite a powder keg of long-standing grievances and rivalries. The international community has issued urgent calls for restraint, urging all sides to step back from the brink and prevent a catastrophic escalation of violence.